she's such a sweetheart! What's up? It's Julie the Bibliophile. Today I am here to talk about Season 4, Episode 8 of The Librarians and the Hidden Sanctuary. First of all, I want to apologize for not having an episode vlog up last week for The Disenchanted Forest. Right after the episode ended, I came down with a pretty bad cold, and so I couldn't film for a couple of days, and then I was kind of like, mentally have not been in the best spot for the past week, so I didn't really feel happy enough to talk about the episode, and it was also a really sad episode, and I didn't want to get into it too much, but I'm here today to talk about And the Hidden Sanctuary. So, I watched And the Hidden Sanctuary with my friends, and I really enjoyed it. It's just, I don't know if it's an episode I would watch over and over, and it was really cute. It is a filler episode, though, and I'm usually not too much into the filler episodes. I like the episodes that, like, progress the plot forward, unless we're talking, like, Silver Screen, right? Because that's the best filler to ever happen in the history of ever. I'm also usually not as heavily into the episodes that don't involve Flynn. I'm usually someone who rewatches the episodes with Flynn in them, and right now we're kind of in a lull with Flynn not there, in a bunch of filler episodes, waiting to see where the plot is going, and missing Flynn, and I'm sad, and Eve is sad, and everybody is sad, but we got some really good happiness for Cassandra, and I think it's really interesting to talk about because I love Cassie. She has a very special place in my heart, and let's talk about it. The episode starts and Cassandra, like, freaks out on a mission, right? And that was so sad. Like, I knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't know the other ones were gonna be there, and I wanted to, like, cry for her that she's freaking out. And then when it gets to the reason that she's freaking out, you know, she's afraid of going on missions now because now she's afraid of dying, and I can't deal with that. She's afraid of dying now because, like, she wasn't afraid of dying in the missions before because she knew she was gonna die anyway. But now she's not dying of cancer, so, like, a threat of death in the field is, like, a real threat to her. So, good lord, like, please save me from this ache in my chest that you call feelings. She decides she's gonna go on vacation to the safest town in America. Now, Eve is upset that she's leaving, and, like, somebody needs to give Eve a hug and an ice cream cone and a blanket, and it needs to be Flynn. Honestly, at this point, I'm done. Like, bring him home. Bring him home. Eve is worried that Cassie is leaving, and obviously she would be, and they're inventorying the library, which I thought was funny. There was a lot of, like, humor in this episode, and kind of back to that for the fans kind of feel. We also have a great Jenkins and Cassie dynamic in this episode. I'm gonna get back to that. Right before Cassie's about to walk out the door, Jake stops her, and, like, I had seen the set picture of, like, you know, Jake trying to talk to Cassie, and I'm like, oh my god, Cassandra! But, like, okay, so, he's like, it was cute. I appreciated the little moment. It was cute. He stops her, and he's like, you know, he's like, take as much time as you need, Cassie. There'll always be a librarian. As long as I'm here. And I loved that because it was very Jake, and, like, Cassie, like, laughed at it, and that was very them. It was what they do best, a combination of flirting and teasing Ezekiel. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love them. I love her. I love him. I love everything. Right? I want to know, is anybody in this town disturbed by this? Like, is anybody in this town disturbed by this? Because I was, like, immediately. Like, when you say a town is that safe, I've got an issue. Like, that's not normal. That shouldn't be happening. That was kind of a plot point of the whole episode, that this kid, that Freddie, is like, nobody thinks it's weird, and they all think it's weird, but they're ignoring it. But even Cassandra's ignoring it initially because Cassandra just wants to be safe. And Freddie's trying to point out to her that, you know, it's not normal for everything to be this safe, and Cassandra's just like, no, it's great, because she doesn't want to die. I want to talk about that great moment between, Cassandra and Freddie's mom, whose name I don't remember. Freddie's mom was talking about why they came to the town, and it was kind of clear that she was talking about, like, an abusive husband in the past. That's kind of the vibe I got. I think that's the vibe we're supposed to get. She's talking about, like, locked doors and everything, and wanting Freddie to be safe. And again, the look on Cassandra's face, because we know Cassandra is an abuse survivor. It's kind of similar to And What Lies Beneath the Stones, when Cassandra is watching Jake with his father, and she has this, like, kind of, like, knowing look on her face, where, you know, she just recognizes it, And, like, I think Lindy Booth always does that really well, of kind of keeping that bit of Cassandra's past in mind. You always see it in Cassandra's face. When someone is talking about being abused in any way, or we see that in any way, it's in Cassandra's face. She knows. We see it with Jake. We saw it with Richard Kind's character in The Steal of Fortune when Fortuna had slapped him across the face, and we see it now. I really love that that's not something that they ignore, that's something that always comes up, and it's a part of Cassandra's story, and so it's a part of who she is, that she's going to be sympathetic towards that, and really gentle with those people who talk about it. The Librarians kind of deals with abusive relationships a lot. We have Jake and Cassandra with their parents, we have this storyline now, and we had the storyline with Fortuna. So I think it's really kind of awesome that the Librarians does talk about abuse a lot, because it's something that's really important to put out there. And once again, the Librarians is putting something out there that's not necessarily talked a lot about in fiction, and they're doing it brilliantly and without stigma, and I just wanted to mention that that was in there because that caught my attention and it was really great. So, but I loved Cassandra in the town, because I swear to God, all my headcanons about Cassandra came true in this one episode. We see her, she loves cats, and she loves baking, and she's a great baker because it's all in chemistry, and she loves quilting, and it's basically everything you would ever expect Cassandra to be outside the library is what she was in this episode, and I thought it was really great to kind of get an outside the library view of Cassandra, because she never really had a chance to build a life outside the library. So it's exciting to see what she would do. And she got to be a librarian with a little L, which is what she mentioned, and it was, like, so cute. And I loved seeing her do that. She got so excited telling Freddie about the book, and I'm like, oh, baby! She would be such a great librarian or a kindergarten teacher, but you know what? She's gonna stay a librarian with a big L, and they're all gonna stay librarians with big L's, including Flynn. It's gonna stay that way. So, but despite that, I really loved seeing the side of Cassie, and it's kind of all the things I always knew to be true about her, or assumed to be true about her, are definitely true and proven true in this episode. I loved seeing her dynamic with Freddie, seeing her work well with this little kid. Cassandra's biggest strength in the missions, one of Cassandra's biggest strengths and her assets that she brings to the team, seems to be that, you know, she interacts really well with people. She forms friendships and connections really easily. We saw it with Amy in season 1. We saw it with Lucy in season 2. Now we see it with Freddie, especially with kids. Cassandra said she hates babies, but Cassandra works really well with kids, whether those kids be children like Freddie, or teenagers like Amy, or like young adults like Lucy. Cassandra does really well with people who are younger than her, who are similar to her, and mentoring them. And understanding them, and she has, like, such this empathetic side to her, such an understanding side, and it's one of the things I love most about Cassandra. Freddie feels kind of alone in this town. Cassandra's trying him to read books and feel not alone in books, but all she ends up doing is getting Freddie to delve deeper into this mystery of the town. We have this whole mystery with the ferry going on, and suddenly there's accidents in Havenport, everybody's hunting Cassandra. It was intense, and I kind of figured out when we saw the snow globe, I'm like, holy, yeah, that guy, Mr. Person there, is the kid from the beginning on the bike. And he trapped a ferry. So now Cassandra and Freddie have to solve this mystery together. And I love to mention, like, Cassandra's meta fairy. Once again, we're having an allusion to past seasons, which we've been doing a lot this season, where we're having an allusion to how Cassandra met Ariel in season 2. This fairy was evil as all heck! This fairy was the stuff of nightmares, okay? They zoomed in on this fairy's face, and I'm like, ah! Like, nightmare fuel! God! I like the voice, the face, the body. Oh, I'm surprised. I did not have nightmares that coming night about this fairy, because goodness gracious, Freddie has to teach, this fairy what it means to feel fear, and Cassandra figures out that, you know, you owe Freddie a wish because he freed you when he broke the snow globe, which was really clever. I didn't see it coming. Now, I thought Freddie could just, you know, I wish you would leave everyone in the town alone. Like, it seems simple to me, but I guess now, like, he had to tell her that, you know, I wish you knew what it was like to feel fear, because then she wouldn't terrorize any other humans ever again either, if she know what it's like for humans to feel fear. And she says, this is punishment enough. And I'm like, hashtag relatable. So Freddie's a smart guy, and you know what, the whole episode, I was saying that Freddie should be a librarian in the future, and then they actually did it at the end of the episode. She's like, you should expect a letter from us sometime soon, and I'm like, oh, Freddie! I want Freddie to be a librarian, I want Amy to be a librarian, I want Lucy to be a librarian, and I had thought, you know what, season 5, let's time jump 10 years and have a new generation of librarians. Amy, Lucy, and Freddie, and anybody else who wants to join. I don't know, maybe Flynn's got a niece hanging out somewhere that's gonna be a librarian. Maybe one of Jacob's nieces could be a librarian. I don't know, but I think it would be really, really cool to do something like that, and I don't think they are. But I love the idea that Freddie's gonna be a librarian someday. That's so cute. I was screaming. So then we had the Jenkins and Cassie dynamic. Now, I still don't ship Jenkins and Cassie, but I've always loved how they have this dynamic where he always comes for her. I've kind of always seen it as like a father-daughter kind of dynamic. Teacher-student. They're very close, and Jenkins definitely cares about her a lot. She cares about him a lot. So Jenkins is always going to come to get her. Jenkins, knows how to put Cassandra in her right mind, kind of how to be gentle with her. And so, like, like, when she's freaking out in the town hall and she's thinking again about that mission and she's breaking down and my heart's breaking for her. And then, you know, she kind of sees Jenkins in her mind and she hears Jenkins saying to her, what do you want to be? And she has to remind herself of that and she says, I want to be a librarian. I'm crying now because I cried when it happened. You know, I was watching with my friends. We all just started like straight up applauding because she's chosen to be a librarian. My God, my child. And this whole season is about like doubting the library. And I'm like, and Cassandra's like crying and saying, I want to be a librarian. Like, yes, you do, baby. You go. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's got to be one of the most emotional moments of the series now, and definitely, like, top 5 emotional moments of the season. Probably in my top moments of the season is Cassandra saying, I want to be a librarian. Like, go, baby, go! Babe! So now that I'm done being weird about that, then she gets back to the library, and even Jake and Ezekiel are just waiting there, and they just have a group hug. And I'm really, really, really emotional about it. Oh, the group hug. Oh, the group hug. I'm gonna use that in so many fan videos, guys. That's coming. That's coming in all the fan videos, is that group hug. And you all know it's coming. And you know what? Flynn should have been there, but that is not a discussion for now. I have a whole video discussing what I think about Flynn this season. You can check out that link in the description or at the end of the video. Also check the link to my playlist of Season 4 episode reviews. So that is it for me today. A little bit shorter than most of my reviews today. Like I said, it's kind of a filler episode. I'm kind of in a mental lull right now. I don't really have a lot to say about the episode, but I did enjoy it. I'm probably going to watch it again, either today or in the next few coming days. Next week, we have an episode about Civil War ghosts, and I'm really excited about it. I've seen the sneak peek. It kind of looks like we're going to have something with Jake and Ezekiel, because we're going to have a story of, like, 2 warring brothers in the Civil War, and now we're going to probably see the story of Jake and Ezekiel kind of, like, either being possessed by these ghosts, filling the roles of these ghosts, paralleling them, maybe Jake and Ezekiel kind of letting out their aggressions at each other. I don't know, but I really love Jake and Ezekiel's brotherly dynamic, and I'm really, really excited to see it, play out on screen. And also for Abe Lincoln and the Civil War ghost, and ooh, maybe these ghosts are the actual librarians who caused the Librarian Civil War. Also, guys, I don't know if you saw the episode description, the press release for episode 11 and the trial of the One, but goodness gracious! They're going into a land of nightmares to decide who's going to be the one final librarian to tether with Eve, and 2 librarians and Jenkins might die. Like, this sounds like the frickin' Wizards of Waverly Place One True Wizard competition, but with librarians. And I know it's going to be fine, but, like, oh my God! This season is so intense, but, like, in such a good way, and I'm really excited to see where they go with this. I'm still really excited to see if Flynn actually did leave, or if something indeed happened to Flynn that we don't know about, because honestly, right now, it suspicious to me. I'm gonna go ahead and outline these new thoughts about Flynn for you, because I made my episode about Flynn before the premiere of And the Disenchanted Forest, and now I have some new evidence to say that something happened to Flynn. He didn't leave. Don't give me that crap. Okay, first of all, hello. I think it's really interesting that they're making a point of pointing out that this is out of character for Flynn. If it was just an out of character writing decision, I think they would just do it. They would just say, you know, he left, he's gone, oh, we gotta wait for him to come back, or he's not coming back, and Eve's sad, but we're moving on. But when Eve cries to Jake in And the Disenchanted Forest, we kind of make a point of saying he always says goodbye. At least he leaves a note, or he comes and says goodbye to me, but he didn't even say goodbye this time, and I'm done. Because Eve is kind of making a point there of saying that this isn't like him, and I'm done because he didn't even say goodbye this time. And I find it really interesting that they pointed it out, that it's not like him to not say goodbye. I also find it interesting that there's all of that in And the Disenchanted Forest, this narrative about making people believe that their loved ones just up and left them when really they were in danger. I think something's going on there. I think you need to pay attention to what happened in that forest. I'm not saying that Flynn got taken by the forest. I'm saying if something happened to him and someone else made the librarians think that their family, Flynn, would just up and leave them, that is interesting considering they had direct lines about that in the episode right after Flynn left. I'm just saying. I do think there's a big possibility that something happened to Flynn that we don't know, because I also think, as I said before, that it's suspicious that we don't know anything. We're going off of assumption. We're saying that Flynn resigned because that's what Jenkins assumed, but we don't have a letter of resignation from Flynn. We don't have any information from Flynn himself, and this Land of Nightmares thing is also really intriguing me, because I kind of feel like that episode is going to end with finding out that Flynn is in danger, and then that's going to be episode 12. So, I don't know where this is going, but I'm really excited to see it, and I'm really excited to journey through it with you guys. If you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe. I'm here every week talking about the latest episode of The Librarians, and here after the season to talk about the show in general. I've got a lot of good post-season 4 vlogs planned for you guys about top 10 moment lists and analyses of some relationships, of some metaphors that I've noticed in the show. It's gonna be good, so go ahead and subscribe and go on this journey with me. You can follow me on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. All links are in the description. I promise I'm not that annoying. Kinda am, but go ahead. Also in the description, you'll find my links for my entire playlist of videos about Season 4. I will see you guys next week to talk about And the Town Called Feud, and until then, stay magical and don't cry too much about Flynn. Bye!